Takeda Shingen is before you once again. This is your second encounter with this boss. Your task remains the same. You must defeat this creature. According to the plot, this time Takeda Shingen becomes even stronger and more dangerous. He transforms into a terrifying yokai with powerful strength and dangerous attacks. But in reality, it's not as scary as it seems at first glance. The main difference from the previous battle with this boss is that in his terrifying form, he does not block your thrown items. So we can return to the tactics that helped defeat all previous opponents. In this battle, as in many others with difficult opponents, I use the safest tactics possible. For almost the entire battle, I stay at a distance from the boss, and nothing will make me approach him. I really don't understand why anyone would do that, except perhaps to end the confrontation faster. But the goal is to win, not to finish within the allotted time. Therefore, the tactic remains relevant. From a distance, we throw all the throwing items we have. That's 4 uncanny bolts, 10 shurikens, and 8 kunai. In general, depending on your level and how much you've leveled up, you will deal significant damage with these items. While playing, you will understand all of the enemy's attacks. You will also see that you can easily dodge all of their attacks. To make your dodging effective, you need to learn the evade skill. Now, every time you make a perfect dodge, you will restore some of your throwing items. And in order for this perfect dodge to happen more often, you need to reduce the weight of your equipment to 30%. At this stage of the game, it doesn't matter what equipment you have. You can defeat Takeda Shingen a second time with any set of clothes. The main thing is to make your character fast and agile, and this can only be achieved by entering the 30% equipment weight zone. Now you will dodge very easily and frequently restore your throwing weapons. This is the safety of such tactics. For most of the fight, you are at a distance where the boss cannot damage you. In cases where he approaches and attacks you, you dodge and almost always get additional throwing items for your attack. During the battle, you will feel like you need to attack the boss at all costs. This is the wrong decision in this combat method. Even if you run out of throwing items, don't look for a way to replenish them. Just keep your distance from the boss. In any case, after a few attacks, a situation will arise where you will make a perfect dodge without even focusing on it. Continue to avoid the boss's attacks, and sooner or later, you will replenish your supplies and be able to continue attacking. During this battle, as you can see, I really didn't think it would come to the final and my victory. It seems to have been one of my early attempts, in which I planned to simply study Takeda Shingen's attacks. And only in battle did I see that they were so easy to dodge. Even those attacks where the boss strikes an area are not so dangerous for you. Your speed and mobility allow you to easily get out of the damage zone, while also restoring some of your throwing items. Of course, sometimes my character gets hit by enemy attacks, but I didn't set out to get through this battle without taking any damage. My goal is to defeat this enemy as easily as possible, and not waste my nerves on a difficult battle involving many mechanics. For me, the simpler the battle tactics, the better. In this mode, I can repeat the same action many times until I achieve victory. Interestingly, this tactic does not change your behavior depending on whether the boss is in his dark or light phase of the battle. As always, the dark phase adds several new attacks to your opponent. One of them is very simple. It is a huge ball of energy thrown by Takeda Shingen. It is even easier to dodge this slow ball than any of the boss's other attacks. The other attack is more difficult. When the boss flies into the air, he moves chaotically, turning into a ball and eventually landing with an area of effect attack. It looks pretty chaotic, but you can also dodge this attack without any problems. You just need to understand that it's better to do this just before the boss lands, rather than when he's in the air. This is how we safely reached the point where Takeda Shingen's health dropped below half. It was at this stage that I realized that I would most likely want to end this fight with a victory in this attempt. So I used my ultimate ability. During your ultimate ability, you can also act more intelligently than I do, but I'm just too lazy to come up with something too complicated. I just repeat the same combination over and over. Jump, then heavy attack. Very often in this mode, my character lands behind the boss and deals significant damage. Ideally, you should dodge complex enemy attacks, as their powerful blows reduce your ultimate ability meter. But in any case, the amount of damage you inflict on your opponent will be very significant. It seemed to me that Takeda Shingen was as lazy a fighter as my character. His attack set can hardly be called diverse. He repeats the same attacks over and over again, although they don't really bring him any results. Towards the end of the fight, it even gets a little boring, because the same thing has been repeating itself for quite a long time. In general, only the dynamics and variety of moments keep this fight on the verge of being interesting. I am sure that if you attack your opponent with normal attacks, the fight will be more interesting, but also more dangerous. Therefore, I will not change my tactics until the end. It is worth mentioning the boss's attack when he lowers his hand to the floor and rushes towards you, scratching the parquet with his claws. Note that he always does this with his left hand, and when he reaches you, he turns his torso along a purely physiological trajectory. Therefore, when you see this attack, always dodge to the right at the last moment. If you dodge to the left, you may get caught in the trajectory of his movement and take damage. It is always safer for you to dodge to the right of this attack. I think you understand what attack I'm talking about. I didn't specifically look for this attack and insert it into the video. It has been repeated many times. The end of the fight comes without any surprises. Repeat the same actions, and you will eventually win. I made this guide in case other tactics, including direct confrontation and weapon damage, fail. You can partially replace part of your fight with a safer one, as I show you. If the boss is really difficult, you can use this tactic for the entire fight, and I assure you that you will see that there is probably no easier way to defeat your opponent. This tactic allows anyone to come and win, regardless of your gaming experience in similar games. By the way, this is the last big boss in Warring States. There are a few other opponents. They are not mandatory to defeat, only if you are interested and want to. I will show them all on my channel. There is a separate video for each enemy where you can see which tactics work best. In general, I always use ninjas because I find this character's playstyle to be safer. Some enemies require different tactics, so I recommend checking out the opponent you are interested in and seeing my recommendations. After defeating Takeda Shingen in the second battle, you will see the final scene and receive a nice reward for your efforts. If you found this video useful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Here you will find many videos dedicated to the game Nioh 3. There are unique tips for each opponent and boss, and sometimes excellent tactics. See you in the next video, and take care, my friend.